What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Chris Apicon.
What's going on, everybody?
And Daniel Acevedo.
Don't make me laugh. I'm going to try to do it. So this is also a different heart. So you put your little hands like this. So how's it going, guys? Little kids do it over here.
What?
Oh, like
It's supposed to be.
Like
Yeah,
your
it's
cheek?
supposed to be like a heart. Like the heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's good.
yeah.
Oh, it's good. Oh, I see your chin. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
You're assimilating right in front of our eyes. Taking you by storm. But welcome to the Friday episode, everybody. So you guys did an excellent job in my absence. We'll talk about vacation a little bit on this episode. So if you're listening, this is the non-cybersecurity related episode. So we talk about movies, books, games, all that good stuff. No spoilers, because I've been jabbed a couple times in the past. Like, you let too much go. I'm like, my bad. I didn't mean to spoil it. But we talk about everything else and just kind of unwind for the week, right? So with that being said, how was everybody's week? Like, what did you get into, Chris?
So fairly light for me on the media end. I think I've been doing just a lot of YouTube, just random things just watching a lot of random stuff on YouTube. I keep getting into, like, my algorithm wants me to buy a car. Right, so I'm like, I always want to get. I drive a Honda Accord, right? But so I'm like, okay, cool. All of my algorithm takes me to like Toyota versus Honda versus Hyundai. So I've been watching
Something.
Yeah, I would look at
something, and now you're stuck in the loop.
Now it's stuck. I don't know what it did, but I probably watched like 2 or 3 Honda Accord versus Toyota Camry reviews. Right, and
they're like, you about to make a purchase.
Yeah, but I don't need a car, right? I want to car payments, no, right? I every time I look at that, I think I mentioned earlier to the team here, it's like, I get a picture of Dave Ramsey in my head, like, no, just don't buy new. So that's that's kind of my algorithm. Then like one thing too, I got an ad for a yacht broker. I'm like, dude, I am not in the yacht.
Yacht broker.
I am not in the yacht.
You got a
pay scale.
You got a bot. You got a bot on your laptop, and someone's using your laptop for other stuff.
Yeah, like, no way. Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
like,
Narcos. Like, Chapo's using your laptop looking for yachts.
But yeah, a lot of YouTube. Just like relaxing after work. I'll turn on YouTube. I have it on I'll have it on my TV while we're cooking something, and it plays random stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Then one thing that was interesting that did pop up was how a YouTube video about how private equity is ruining video games. Right. So everything's going to like pay as you people. It talked about like incomplete video games being released, and then you got to buy on additional things. Right. Just how modern video game industry is, at least in the United States. And they talk about the lack of passion in video game creation in the U.S. versus like Japan, Nintendo. Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why, I generally gravitate to RPGs, single player games with, well-written stories. You buy them one time and then there's really nothing else to, go buy. It's because, it was designed that way. But, a lot of modern video games just require, hey, put your credit card in, get this skin, buy this
microtransactions.
Yeah. And
everybody's chasing Fortnite.
Everybody's chasing Fortnite, right?
It's a good formula for business.
True statement. Nothing wrong with that, right? But when it's everything and your options are just, hey, I gotta wait. It is tiring, right? But again, I'm millennial, right? These Gen Z kids, they're all about the pay as you go. They're all about the phones and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of my YouTube game. But on the TV side, lots of Olympics. Watching a lot of Olympics, right? I think. As of the recording of this video, we are second in the gold medal count, but we are number 1. USA is number 1 in the overall medal count. But, China is killing the game right now with golds, right? They've got, I think right now they've got 2, but we haven't finished the track and field events and stuff yet. So hopefully USA can pull through and win more of those. But again, we're coming in second and third a lot, right? You don't have Michael Phelps carrying the men's swimming anymore, literally hogging all the golds, right? So we don't have that anymore, that luxury. So yeah, that's that on that end. And then on TV side, we are finally on the 13th season of Death in Paradise. Again, it's the show about the Caribbean crime, right? British detective. It's about the fictional island, right? But I know Ryan's vacation was in the Caribbean, right? And as I'm watching this, I'm like, man, I hope like I wish I was in the Caribbean. Every time, it's like maybe that's why I got an ad for yachts, right? Because I keep watching these boats, these like every time they do B-roll on the show, they do like a beautiful view of like a bay, right, the island, and then you've got like beautiful catamarans and yachts and stuff on the side, right, in the bay, and I'm like, man, I want a yacht every time, but it's like I don't have the money, I don't have it. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
You do have
YouTube.
yacht money.
I don't got it. I still have to think about money. Like I think the saying is like if you have to think about how much a yacht costs, you can't afford a yacht. Like, you can't even. I
can't afford anything. I think about every single purchase.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that was my week, right? Media wise, latest chapter One Piece, My Hero Academia, right? Keeping up with the game there. I'm a big manga fan. So more revelations on the One Piece end. Really excited. They're on break this week. I think it's another break, but really excited to see what happens next.
You can't spoil it because I only watch One Piece. I don't read it.
Yeah, so, I'm probably like I would say maybe like 60, 70 episodes ahead of you then, based on the manga. Right, I think it's like a year ahead. I think. Yeah, I think so.
I'm still behind on the episodes. I haven't watched it. Like One Piece is when everything else falls off and I want to watch something, then I go back and I'll binge like 50 episodes or 60 episodes of One Piece. Yeah, so I finished Wano Kuni, and now I'm in the work happens after Wano Kuni, that other world where I don't know what's going on yet there, but
it's yeah, I got you. I won't say anything. But Wano Kuni was amazing. I loved it. That was a great one.
It was really cool.
The thing about One Piece though is like if you actually take apart like the review in the beginning and at the end, like it's only like 15 minutes of actual episode each time. Like,
yes, it's very short. Like, that's why I do it.
It's very short, right? So it's like really easy to binge because it's like okay, I can skip the first. So like they have the 2-minute song, right? Dun, dun, like any anime, and then they go over like a 3 or 4 minute review of the past episode
of the previous episode. Yeah.
And then it's like okay, the next 15 minutes are actual content, and then it's the outro.
The outro,
and then the preview for next is another minute, right? So it's like, but it's easy to watch One Piece. I love One Piece, so
it's very easy to binge.
Absolutely. Also, like every time I talk to you, Daniel, like after last week's episode, I started looking at a map of Japan for like an hour. I'm like, okay, where should I travel? That's kind of been what I've been doing. Like, where should I travel to Japan?
Everywhere.
Yeah. So definitely Japan's at the bucket list. I don't know when we'll go, but we will go for. We're saying maybe 2 weeks, or however we can line it up with a holiday, right? Do 15, 16 days maybe, but that's the goal one day. But yeah, I'll give it over to you, Daniel. That was my week.
Oh, thanks, man. It was a great week, actually. It was a really good one. I finally feel like settling into work and the house. It's a little more cleaned up. We got some more furniture to put the stuff away. So there's not a bunch of boxes and crap everywhere. So it's stressing me out less. Content-wise and media-wise. So I will announce it here. And I'm sorry to say to everybody, Marvel's dead. Marvel is dead.
No!
Just put a fork in it. It's done. Had such high expectations maybe without watching anything, and I watched it and I left very meh. It felt like it could have been like an 8-episode series on Netflix or something, but put into a movie. It just didn't feel like Marvel.
Which show are you talking about?
No, the Wolverine versus Deadpool. The Deadpool versus Wolverine movie.
Really? Oh,
I watched it and I really wanted to like it. So hopefully you're going to go see it today. Hopefully you come back and we'll talk next Friday and it's different. And maybe I missed some stuff, or maybe, I don't know, maybe just didn't see it in the right light. But yeah, Shannon's going to hate it because he said he didn't like it when he broke the fourth wall, and they quadrupled up on it. I won't spoil anything more, but yeah, just watch it. You tell me how you feel about it. Okay. But it just felt like a greatest hits to me.
Oh, interesting.
So that disappoints me because like the plan for the day, because we have a storm coming in, tropical storm. It's going to stay off the coast though, so it's going to be a lot of rain, a little bit of wind. The plan was if the weather holds out enough to take the boys to see it, But yeah, mixed reviews. Like I've heard from people who were like the most glaring review I saw was like people like your most annoying friend's gonna love it, and your most reserved friend's gonna hate it. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Your boys will probably like it. It's still, yeah. There's still the last couple of. There's a bunch of Marvel movies after Endgame that I didn't really see. Like I didn't see the one that has the others cast. I forgot what they're called. The Eternals. I didn't watch Eternals. I didn't watch the Miss Marvel ones where it's like her and two other females. I missed a couple of them, but I don't feel like any of those would have been good either. I know they just announced on, I think, San Diego Comic-Con that Doctor Doom is going to be played by Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, our DJ.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know if it's another MCU thing where alternate universe or what's going to go on there, but I don't know if that'll save it. I highly doubt it. It's funny because on the flip side, the Spider-Man movies have been amazing. The animated ones, they've been so good.
Yes. Yeah.
Like every time I get a chance or they're just like on for some reason or I see it somewhere, I'll like sit and watch like 30 minutes or an hour of it because visually it's so pretty. Like the structure of the story and the voice acting is really well done. The action's really good.
Yeah.
And then I watched these other movies of Marvel that came after Endgame and it's gone the opposite direction. I think they were so popular because the story, the writing, and the flow of the movies are really good. And they got like great actors for the roles. Wherein Marvel's in the past, where the technology didn't have the attributes to make a Marvel movie, they still didn't hit the casting well. I whoever played Captain America or these other characters in the past in the Marvel movies, they just weren't really good. I'm trying to think of like old Marvel movies right now, and I can't think of any before this new.
Yeah, I think the old Marvel movies were so good because they had a vision, right? And I think they were the brainchild of what's his name? He was in the actual Iron Man movie, but like you know who I'm talking about, right? But anyway, what
Stan
I'm trying
Lee,
to say,
or?
Not Stan Lee.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, but the thing is, they were written with a vision and end, right? Endgame at the end of the day, and then Infinity War, Endgame, everything was built up to get to those movies, right?
Yeah.
Once they cross the finish line with Endgame, it's like now the vision isn't there anymore. Now it's just like, hey, how do we
grab?
How do we maximize shareholder value, right?
Yeah. But I was talking about even before the original Marvel movies. I think there's been attempts to make Marvel movies or TV series in the past, but they just never really worked out. And I think along with like technology not being there to make the movies, I think the casting really wasn't well. I think another piece of the vision, like you say, is the people they got for the roles were just phenomenal. I think you couldn't have casted anybody else in those roles and it had been as good. But yeah, besides that, listening to an audiobook actually called Red Rising. It's really cool. It's about sci-fi fictitious world where people living on Mars are trying to like terraform it. It's pretty interesting. It's a book series.
Okay. I was thinking like Russia or China. Like, but no, this makes
yeah, and I'm trying to get into like listening to books. I never really got into audiobooks, so this is my first attempt because they said that the voice actor for it is really well. And so far, it's been pretty interesting and enjoyable. And besides that, what else did I do? Oh, Valorant's on Xbox now, so I decided to download that so I can suck at another like really popular game. It's been pretty enjoyable so far. But I'm going to start firing up the PS5 again and start getting into Final Fantasy VII now that I have a little bit more time and things are kind of like settled around the house. Besides that, went to the beach with my kid today. She loved it. We had a good time. I didn't realize we're close to the coast, but I didn't realize if you go up the road about like 2 minutes and around, there's like a beach right there. Okay. So like we're really beach. Close. Yeah. No, like people come. It's like public. So.
Oh, okay.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So now we're just gonna probably beach bums, just go as many times a week as possible on the weekends. Nice. So yeah, I'll be tanned from now on, more brown than usual. So it'll be nice. But that's about it for me. What about you, Ryan? What'd you get into this week?
Yeah, definitely. So please like, share, subscribe. We're about to surpass the 500 mark, so we're trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year because it gives us the more ability to make content and to grow the channel, things of that nature. But again, our audio ranking is really high. Greatly appreciate that. We're in the top 10%. you have to think there's millions of podcasts, billions of episodes out there, but it's our consistency that kind of pulls us up. The thing is that our listener score is pretty weak, so we need you to go to whomever you're listening to us on and leave us a rating. Same thing for the watchers out there. If you're watching this on something, please leave some kind of rating, some kind of feedback, because that just helps to boost the visibility of the podcast. So greatly appreciate that. Got a bunch of other boring stats, but I'm not going to kill you with those. But yeah, like the views have been up, so I always love that, and the shorts have been pretty good. I knew the one with Daniel talking about Warren Buffett was gonna climb up there. I think it's the second highest short. I think second or third. It's in the top 3 highest shorts. I was like, yep, that's gonna be a good one. You can just see it. So it's been a great couple weeks of content. You guys killed it while I was gone. So I went to Sandals, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Brand new resort, opened up in March. We have been looking at it for over a year because we saw it was being constructed, and we want to finally do an adult vacation now that I retired, where there's no kids there, like not just our kids, but no kids. So we're like, let's do a Sandals all inclusive, and it takes off some of the pressure of tipping people and all that stuff. Like I still do that. However, there's no calculus happening, right? At the beginning of your stay, you kind of already know who you're going to see. Like, so I need to break them off with, percentages and things of that nature, as opposed to randos, just like, oh, I get this person 5, I get this person 10, I get this person 20. And also paying for drinks and all that stuff. Like, no, you just everything, food, drinks, room service. Only thing you're tacking on is excursions. So we had like a candlelight dinner on the beach, on private beach. Ooh. Because it was my wife's birthday, so we did that.
Nice.
It was just a great experience. Like I highly recommend it. There are no bad rooms at these resorts. There's just different tiers or whatever. So we saved up a lot. We splurged and we did the villa. So it's the highest room. It comes with a butler and all that good stuff.
Okay, love it.
Like it's nice. Beautiful 2-story villa. Like it's a excursion to itself. And we tried to do the least amount of stuff possible was the goal, right? It was really to sit there, relax and unwind.
Nice.
Like the only work being eating and drinking. And we did one excursion. We did a couple. So we did like a couple on a boat. That was fun, like the Butler's Cruise, stuff like that. But we did one ATV riding around the countryside. That was the most work we did while we were there.
Did you guys go scuba diving at all?
You can. You go scuba dive around off your villa if you want to.
That's amazing. That's
pretty sick.
Because that's a little pier to yourself or what have you. But there are other rooms. There's waterfront rooms.
Yeah.
Waterfront rooms. And then there's regular rooms. But like there's no, like I don't know if you guys saw the pictures. Like there's no bad views. Like the country is beautiful. Very mountainous. It's a volcano. It erupted 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
So you're saying, hey, Sandals, sponsor this podcast, right?
Put it in the newsletter. Like all that stuff in the newsletter was free this week. I didn't ask anybody for any sponsorship or nothing because that's how much I enjoyed it. Like I want other people to experience it. It was a great experience. And they just had a hurricane this last season. So when we showed up, it was at minimum occupancy, right? We're off season because I don't do anything on season that I have to worry about. They had just gotten over the hurricane and cleaned up. They had just opened, so a lot of people don't know about it. So I may have run into maybe 30 or 40 people out of this entire resort. And it's a humongous resort. So it was kind of like those after school specials where like you're watching the show and then they go to Disneyland or Disney World and it's like very unpopulated. So you think that's going to be your experience and I know it's going to be shoulder to shoulder. That's how this was. So I highly recommend you check it out. It's Sandals, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Amazing. And then going to see Deadpool. I'm going to see it today. Very sad that you didn't enjoy it. Like, so here's my pre-watch take on it. This is a Fox movie. That's how I'm coming into it. This is them trying to bring in all of the Fox stuff and finally merge the streams, right? Like the Ghostbusters don't merge the streams. They're finally trying to merge the streams with Fox and Disney. And then going forward, it will be back to MCU Prime. Because I'm actually excited about Robert Downey Jr. RDJ, I believe, will make an amazing villain. Because he made an amazing superhero, right? Like he basically is Atlas of the MCU, right? He put it on his back and he carried it from the first movie through the Endgame, and then after that, it kind of lost its luster, right? So I think bringing him back as the big bad, now that unfortunately Anthony Majors and Kang is pretty much a dead route for them.
Yeah,
I think really having a big bad like a Josh Brolin, but having it being Robert Downey Jr., I think he could put it back. Like, so it depends on their take, right? Like, so I don't have any insight on it, but Doctor Doom, I've always found him to be an anti-hero, right? Like, he's doing bad for good reasons, so to speak, when it comes to like incursions and the secret wars and all that other stuff that I can vaguely remember. I think he'll be a good addition, and it has to be a multiversal thing, obviously, because it's being played by the same person. But to my understanding, from what little bit I know, because I'm trying not to get any spoilers from the MCU going forward, the Fantastic Four takes place alternate our current timeline because they're in the past, and if that is the case, because it's going to be kind of a retro film. I think is what they're going for. If that's the case, then we would have ran into them already in the MCU. So they have to be.
Yeah, it's true.
Adjacent to us in some regard. So I think it's going to work. I think they could. I don't know if they'll ever get back to Endgame. I don't think that's possible. Like, that was just cinematic perfection getting all the way there. There was I can only think of one bad movie, and that's Thor: The Dark World. I always thought I wanted to bless. That's the only bad part of the first big saga of the MCU. In my opinion. Yeah. I can't think of another one. Is there another bad movie?
I would say, is it the first Thor movie? Marvel is kind of forgettable. Captain Marvel is kind of forgettable. And I think, Thor Dark World is...
Yeah, okay, I'll give you two. Captain Marvel, I wouldn't say hers was bad. It's just, like you said, it's very forgettable.
It's just forgettable. Yeah. Like, I don't even remember who the villain was. Like, that's the thing.
It was a computer, I think.
Yeah. So that's how I know a good movie is if you remember the villains, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I struggled to remember Ronan from the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly. The first...
Yeah, it was a good movie, but I was just like, who was the big bad? Oh, yeah, it was Ronan.
Which one was the Iron Man one where Iron Man had to like fight Hulk? And he had the Iron Hulk.
The Hulkbuster armor?
Was that 3?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was 3. That was 3 because 2 is the one where he fights, what's his name, that has kind of like his own invention, but it's like they're whips.
Yeah,
that's 2.
They're fighting in Monaco, right? Because it's like their F1 or something like that.
Yeah, like a speed race, like a NASCAR race or Formula 1. So 2 and 3 Iron Man weren't that great. And what was 4? Was 4 the one with that? It was like the what's his name?
Spider-Man.
Hammer?
Was that the one? No, that Arnie Hammer was. I think he was, or Hammer Industries was the Iron Man 2. I think.
Was it 2?
Yeah.
No, 4 was the worst one, which was like the bad guy was portrayed by like this old guy, but he was just an actor, and it was actually somebody else.
Oh yeah.
And then and then what's her name? Even puts on an Iron Man suit for the first time.
Oh,
his assistant.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
So actually, all the Iron Mans weren't that great after the first one.
The first one was amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so you're peeling back the veil. Yes, now that you say that, there are a few others. Like, so Dark World is definitely the worst. But you're right. Iron Man 2 and 3 weren't that hot. I don't feel like Captain America. The first Captain America was that great. Winter Soldier was amazing.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
I like the first one.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier is everybody's favorite.
Probably my favorite Marvel movie besides Infinity War. But
I just had a Rick James moment. Like, everything I said, we just pulled back.
Yeah. But the first one felt like like the montage scenes and stuff like that.
And Captain America was the best part.
Let's go. Yeah, because it went faster, right?
Right.
But the thing is, the 2 is so good. Winter Soldier is so good that's
great.
One seems even like less impressive. But one was setting the world for Captain America and introducing him. So I think it was still a good first movie. But 2 is just like a masterpiece. That's why.
And honestly, another forgettable one, the second Avengers with
yes.
I don't remember. Like,
is that the one where they actually pick up Scarlet Witch and her?
Scarlet
her brother?
Witch.
Yeah.
Her brother dies.
They fight Ultron.
Yeah.
That's
Age of Ultron. Yeah, Age of Ultron. Yeah, that one was forgettable.
Yeah. It has the what's his name fights
because Civil War was so much better.
AI.
Wait, no. Civil War is a Captain America movie, right? No, is it Avengers? Okay.
Yeah, it's Captain
See, that's all this stuff. Like it all. But to me, it felt like an Avengers movie because of obviously the rift between the
scope and scale.
Yeah, exactly. But the two middle of Captain America movies, best ones, I think. I mean, Civil War's up there. Brain farting. Second Captain America, and then
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah,
and
then Infinity War.
Yeah. Going back to what you said, Ryan, though, I didn't think about it that way, though. You're right. It's a Fox movie. So maybe if I had realized that, I still think I'd have been disappointed, but maybe it would have been a little bit more understanding in my brain what I saw.
So that's my take, because I've been trying to avoid spoilers as best I can, but my timeline is full of just people putting images. So I know a couple of cameos. I'm just like, man, I really wish I could have saw that in the theater. So
cameos are cool.
Yeah, my take is because they finally have to merge a lot of these things, and they haven't been doing a good job of it in the TV shows or the movies. So I was like, this is going to have to be that movie that kind of, not necessarily, I'm not saying like, again, no spoilers. I'm not saying it merges things or whatever, but you have to start showcasing some of this legacy Fox stuff because they own it now. And you have to kind of usher that in because there's been a few, like the Marvels movies, the Marvels movie has some cameos in it. And you're just like, okay, I can see where they're going. And then they just kind of just petered out after that. They didn't really show much. So that's what I thought this movie was going to be. So that's kind of my lens. But I mean, if it's bad, it's bad. I'm going to say it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful though that it'll be good because the first Deadpool was amazing. The second one was okay. So I was hoping that this one would be amazing again. But again, it's very mixed reviews. And it's not a Deadpool movie because it's a Deadpool Wolverine movie, right? So it's kind of like
that is true.
So I'm just,
and even with that attitude,
I'm getting a lot of grace. I'm telling you, I'm coming in there with a lot of grace. So if I'm still disappointed,
come back to me next Friday. Come back to next Friday.
If I'm still disappointed, that means that something went terribly wrong. But yeah, so I'm gonna watch that today. Anime wise, I've been watching. I'm not a Bleach fan because the series is too long. It's like One Piece to me, even though it's not nearly as long as One Piece. But I jumped off of Bleach fairly quickly because I knew I could see how long it was going to take. But my son put me on I think it's 1,000-year Blood War or something like that.
War arc, baby. That's awesome.
That animation is fire.
It's fire.
It's
yeah,
God
it's so
tier
good.
animation. I watched 4 episodes with him. I was very impressed. I was like, okay, I can get down with this, and it seems to be moving a lot faster. There's no filler.
Yeah, I think that was the problem with like even Naruto back then. It's like a lot of those filler episodes are just so cumbersome, but like taking out the filler and just the pure source material, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed with that. So as we have time, we sit there and we watch it. Game wise, I beat Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I platinumed it. So it's my 5th platinum. How long is the platinum, or how long has the trophies been around? Since PS3? I only have 5 platinums. But something switched in my brain. Like the collecting and the trying to get the platinum has made me want to go back. And now I'm playing the 2018 God of War because I've left a few trophies on the table. And I don't want to go back and platinum all of my favorite games. I want to go back and platinum the games I have almost a platinum in. I'm just like, why not just finish this out? Right? I enjoyed the game. Why not finish the content? So I was going to do that with Ragnarok. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go back to God of War and hopefully be able to survive it because I know there's been some quality of life features. It's going to look better. I popped that thing in to I re-downloaded it on PS5 and it looks almost like Ragnarok. Like there's a few, you can tell there's a few things with lighting and textures that they've improved between the two of them. But visually it's still stunning. So I'm just like, the next God of War has to be a PS5 exclusive because I have to see what it looks like to be purely running on the PS5 because God of War 2018 is a PS4 game that looks amazing on the PS5. So what is a God of War PS5 game going to look like? Like that's going to blow my mind, hopefully, or not. Maybe we've just reached a level of fidelity where you just can't get better. But Ratchet Clank Rift Apart looked amazing, sounded amazing. And now I'm going back playing God of War again, loving it. I'm going to try to wrap that one up fairly quickly. I put it on Give Me Story because that's different levels. I've already beat the game, right? So I'm like, I'm not looking for a challenge. So I just flipped it to Give Me Story. So I'm just punching my enemies to death as I progress enough to get the trophies I need, and I'm getting out of there and jumping on Ragnarok. And then Final Fantasy VII, I put it on the shelf. I got to go back to it, but this chapter I'm in is just so long. It's grossly long. Like I'm enjoying the fan service. I'm enjoying all the stuff they added, but I feel as though, because it says I'm about 50% done with the game. This is a long 50. Like it's taking me a long time to get through this chapter, so I just need to take a break. So I'm playing something that's a little bit more punchy. Yeah, something a little bit more punchy, and then I'll jump back into it. Yeah. Aside from that, just reacclimating me back home. It was only 3 or 4 days, but I tell you, I floated the pool, I sat in the cabana, I sat in the villa, I was on a boat. I did the least amount of movement possible. So now being back home with work and kids, and I'm tired. Not tired from the vacation. I'm just like trying to get back up to speed because I really, it was the first time I've decompressed since coming back home from Turkey.
Well deserved, I'll say that.
Nice.
Well needed.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife had an amazing birthday. And yeah, awesome. It was great. She was like, yeah, we got to come back, but we're not going to come back and do the same amenities. And I was like, no, if I come back, I got to come back and do this.
I'm not going back down. We stay at this level.
I can't go to the poolside room. I gotta be. Yep. So, but we'll see. I just to get back there would be great. Cause it was very, very relaxed and everybody was very friendly. And you didn't have to leave the resort. Like everything I needed was right there. So it was great, but, definitely hit us up. Like on socials, if you have questions or you want to leave some feedback, we greatly appreciate that. I promise I'm going to get to the feedback and comments this week is my goal, and from there we're gonna surpass 500 probably by the end of next week, and then start shooting off to 1,000. So hopefully it compounds in that regard, right? Like friends will tell friends, and so on and so forth, and then we'll be Joe Rogan, and then Chris can get his yacht
there with him.
Chris get his yacht, take us out, and we'll be good to go. Yep. All right. Hit up all the socials that go by our names, either the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask CISSP. Hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on all the socials. Where can they find you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under Chris Avicon, last name spelled A Bacon.
And where can they find you, Daniel?
In LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.